Hello guys, welcome to MindMesh. This is Fish.
I'm Chayton.
And I was going to come into this with a weird topic. I thought I had a really weird topic, which was like gorilla fighting. I thought that was pretty intense, but no, Chayton came in here with the weirdest video I think I've seen in a bit. A man that eats raw meat and has been eating raw meat as like his main source of food for like 10 years.
Okay, can I just hop in and say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
So this is MindMesh. This is a podcast where we find a random weird ass video of the week and we discuss it. This is the podcast to discuss those shower thoughts that you have or those late night rabbit hole internet links that you find. This is the kind of podcast where weird is the normal. All right. So we talked about this and I said, you know what? I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna find something weird. So
gorilla fights are nothing compared to this.
So I found a man who went on a raw meat diet. If you search raw meat diet on YouTube, it's the first link that pops up. Watch it, be disgusted by it, whatever you want to do. Just enjoy it because it's a ride and a half.
Okay, so this man.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I thought it was bad enough that he ate raw meat.
Uh-huh.
It said in the video that his wife vegetarian?
Yeah, his wife was vegetarian before she started dating him. And then
so like did he force her to like okay, you either
well no, she said she saw how ethical it was. The way he butchered animals in his backyard.
The way he fucking murdered them animals in front of her. No.
Look, okay.
And the children. And don't forget the 4 kids that
but
he
he
has.
looked healthy.
He did.
Okay, let's say that for a second. Okay, the raw meat diet, surprisingly, he's been on it for 10 years and it seemed to be working. I agree with that. 3-month-old liver drying and molding in his fridge, and we watched him eat the mold off of the liver.
That's so disgusting.
So all I'm saying is like maybe it works. Like
you said, we've just been so afraid of germs that we sterilize everything.
Well, no, okay, here's my thing. So sushi, as a food in general, is typically raw fish. Yeah. I don't actually know if it's like preserved in any way or if it's like sterilized in any way.
I think it might
be sterilized in like salt water or something to kill the bacteria. But for the most part, that's just raw fish. And fish is like up there with chicken in the sense of like if you eat it raw, that's usually a pretty bad thing. And then there's steak tartare, which is just sirloin steak or any form of like beef cut, and you chop it and you grind it into like ground beef and you mix it. It's like a salad. It's almost like a salsa. Have you ever heard of steak tartare?
No, what is that?
No, literally, it's a steak dish that's literally, it uses raw meat. You mix it with a bunch of veggies, tomatoes, parsley, a bunch of fresh herbs, and it's stuff that you serve on those little like toast chips that you can get.
Huh?
Literally, it's raw meat that you just serve. So like in that kind of aspect, it's like if those fine rich folks at the top of Beverly Hills.
Bro, this man was eating meat off of bones like a fucking caveman, though.
He literally called himself a dog. He's like, I can gnaw on this bone for hours like a dog. So, like, all I'm saying is, like, if we can eat steak tartare and if we can eat fish eggs, caviar, that's raw fish eggs. If we can eat sushi, like, what's to say we can't just chow down on a fucking lamb chop? It just
reminds me of these memes of do you remember those like memes that went around for a while that were like, here are my rare or medium rare chicken tenders. It was like raw chicken with like some breading on it.
I was actually what was it? I found an image that was like a Reddit post, and I've seen this image before. But he was like, "Hey, I was cooking these chicken breasts, and while I was putting them in the oven, I accidentally dropped them while I was cooking them, and they accidentally touched the tip of my penis, and now my penis is all swollen. And what do you guys think I could do?" And all the comments on the Reddit post were like, "You fucked that chicken breast, didn't you?" So like, yeah. But no, like, I mean, for real though. Okay, so like when you go to a steak restaurant, or if you cook burgers, or
I mean, I'm a
any
guy.
kind of meat, I think everyone's had that experience, especially if you don't have a meat thermometer, where you cook something, be it a burger, be it a steak, be it a chicken breast, be it a piece of fish, and you bite into it and you look at it and you're like, did I cook that enough? Have you ever had that? Like,
No,
I've had that experience.
Well, you asked me this, but you've been there when I've cooked burgers here.
Oh yeah, that's very true.
I had the because
like,
my biggest thing is like I had the tendency of burning the burgers.
Yeah, because you turn the heat too high,
Yeah, exactly.
and then you burn them, and you're like, oh, they're done, and then you cook into them, and they're still red.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they're not rare, they're black and blue.
Exactly, or black and red. Really.
Black and red, really. Yeah, it's not steak.
But it's so strange because like we accept a degree of raw.
We accept a degree of rawness, especially.
Yeah,
there are some people in this world. Well, I mean, we've discussed this before, not of course on the podcast, but we've discussed our like if we go to a steak restaurant, how we order our steak.
Yeah, I like mine medium rare.
Yeah,
I like mine more on the rare side.
We've both described that when we go to steak restaurants, we like medium rare.
Yeah,
you're more on the rare side. I'm more on the medium side. So it's like we as humans as a race accept rare meat to an extent, but not for the fact that hanging it up in our refrigerator and just pulling out a liver or a testicle and taking a bite out of it like a Kit Kat bar.
You're forgetting that like he let that liver age for like 2 months.
Yeah, no, it was black. And he showed the fuzzy mold, and he's like, sometimes I just like to lick it off.
He fucking like ate it like a fruit roll up.
I think my favorite part was, especially with your reaction, was as like it had no correlation to it. He was just talking about making intestine smoothies, and then all of a sudden it's showing like the 4 kids that he has at the dinner table, like, oh, where do you want to sit, Dad? And they all have like cooked meats and baked potatoes, and he sets his plate down, and it's just a bunch of cubes of like lamb testicles and lamb chops, just completely raw.
It's like that, and then like you said, he made like an intestine smoothie.
Yeah, and he couldn't use the family blender anymore because it caused it to smell like stomach bile. He had to get his own. He had to get his own blender.
That makes me sick to my stomach to think of.
As soon as I started the video, and as soon as because it was that one specific video. If you search it. As soon as I started, of course, the guy, his name's Derek. He takes a bite of the meat and he pulls it, and you can see all the, like, you eat a steak and sometimes you get those little tendons and those little like muscle fibers that
it
stretch.
Looked like a fucking caveman just fucking
I'm
shot
just describing how like his teeth like just grinded into it and pulled. Like sometimes when you get a steak, you get those muscle fibers. That, those little tendons that stretch when you eat it. Of course, with raw meat, it's to an extreme degree where the entire thing's that. So like we started, and I
wonder if sometimes he just like gets ground beef or makes ground beef, or I guess in his
case,
or in like his case,
Kroger, and he's just like, oh, this is the private selection.
He said he didn't like packaged meat, so I guess if he made his own ground lamb, because it seems like he likes sheep.
Yeah, I wonder. I wonder if this started with his family, his trailer park family making steak tartare, because they're like, oh, this is what the rich people eat, and he ate it. And it's like, well, damn, that's pretty good.
Well, I don't know where it. I wonder how.
Yeah,
I'm like you. I wonder how it started.
I want to know the origin, because he said 10 years ago, and he looks like 36.
Bro, dude looks 26 in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
like, and he's and like. Well, I'm not talking shit about his wife, but his wife looks older.
Well, no, they weren't married.
Oh, what were they?
Yeah,
not?
he called her girlfriend the entire video.
Okay, so his girlfriend.
I think his 4 children were with this lady. I don't remember her name. I just remember Derek, but maybe that's because it's ingrained in my mind watching him eat raw meat.
Yeah, no one else ate raw meat, so they didn't stick out as much as this man.
Take that back.
Well, yeah, the fucking kids.
Yeah, the kids would take like little morsels off his plate and just shove them in his mouth like
You're making it sound like that's the only food they got. Were the little morsels of raw meat.
We watched the scene of them cracking eggs and pouring the raw eggs in their mouths and be like, oh yeah,
yeah, but we also saw
that up like a popsicle.
We also saw the scene where they ate like a real dinner, and their dad ate the raw meat.
Yeah, but he's trying to convert them like a.
He's trying to. No, he said it's okay. Like he's not
said,
like
he
forcing
said, I don't
them
see
to.
any problem in butchering these animals in my backyard and letting my children watch.
Yeah, that is kind of. I don't know.
Like, what kind of moral grounds do you say? Because I mean, there's hunting. And like, there's tons of hunters out there that take their kids to like deer hunt, and like they
there's
show them
hunting,
how to gut.
and then there's also people that are in that profession of either like a butcher or like or like a farmer.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So
like it's kind of there's a profession out there where that might be a situation where like a farmer and his kids like just helping them out.
Yeah,
but it's also like I feel like there's a certain age that you introduce them to.
Yeah, it's true because
So
like
it's
the
like when
youngest was like 8, wasn't it?
No, probably younger. Well, probably way younger. I'm thinking 5 or 6 for the youngest.
That's fair. I mean, I'm also thinking like,
but like when you think about a farmer, if like a farmer at any point has a son or a daughter that's like, oh, I'm getting to the age where I need help disemboweling this cow. Like, what age do you think that's an acceptable thing to like bring kids into?
Let me think.
Because in my mind, the first age that pops into my mind?
What?
13.
I think
that's
a little.
Such a transformative part.
I think a little younger. I think maybe like 10 or 11.
I think they can be like they can see stuff like that at that age, but being introduced into it and doing it. I think 13 because it's such a transformative age.
I feel you. Okay, I understand.
For a kid or a teen. I mean, that's the puberty years. Like, if you introduce this during the puberty years, they're going to accept it as normal.
That's also, like, never mind.
Say your thought. I'm interested.
I lost my train of thought. I hate that I did because I feel like I had a really good point and then, like a little birdie grabbed it and fucking.
You know what I want to
do
now? I want to go find a butcher shop and ask them for just a raw filet mignon.
And then like eat it in front of them?
Yeah, just like purchase it and then eat it like a goddamn apple.
Yeah, but like see, do you think it took him a while? Do you think it took him a while to like acquire that taste, or do you think it was like, or do you think his obsession started because like he tried like or accidentally like tried a piece of raw meat and was like, "Ooh, that's really good." Or do you
I kind of
because
the way I think of it is like when I try new foods, I'm specifically going to use my sister.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, my sister. She's not dead, but she needs help.
Her poor soul, apparently.
Her poor soul. So she's a very picky person. Like, she couldn't eat onions as a kid. We had to chop them so finely and not tell her that it was in the dishes that my family was making. It was really the same for any other vegetable. She was very specific about what she would eat and what she wouldn't eat because she was a big texture person. So she really liked those little dark green leafy pieces of lettuce. It was spinach. We didn't tell her that spinach was spinach for about 4 years because she believed that it was just dark leafy green lettuce. So we got to a point where we finally told her it was spinach, and that completely altered her mindscape, where she could not physically eat spinach anymore because she knew what it was.
So crazy because like
but then 7 or 8 years after that, her friend takes her out to a pizza joint, shows her a feta and spinach pizza, and she falls in love with spinach again.
Bro, feta and spinach pizza is so fucking good.
I'm gonna be cooking feta and spinach turkey burgers here soon.
Ooh, that sounds so fucking good. I'm so pumped for it.
But moral of the story is like your taste buds can change instantly. I think it's the same as like your whole body like reproduces their cells every 7 years or something like that.
Yeah.
In those 7 years, your taste buds can change too. I think your taste buds change 3 times in your life. It's some sort of science bullshit like that, where your taste buds can change as you grow up.
Oh wow, you're not just spouting stuff. You like that's
no. It's something I've researched.
Oh wow.
I don't know the actual scientific facts. I just know that your taste buds can change over your lifetime. Or like, say you didn't love oranges as a kid, but when you're 80 fucking years old, oh god, you're gonna be shoveling oranges in your mouth like it's goddamn candy.
What is it? There was some food that I hated. No, it was similar to your sister. I used to hate onions. But
now you love onions on like basically anything?
Oh, I see. I'm kind of the same thing. I have a big texture problem. I don't like I like the taste of a lot of fruit, but I can't eat raw fruit because the texture of it.
Okay.
It has to be
I can
like
understand
in
that.
something,
Yeah.
or like like a flavored thing. But then the problem with a flavored thing is it's normally like an artificial.
It's
flavor.
artificial. It's not
Yeah.
like this is pure apple. No, this is
Yeah.
apple concentrate that was made in a lab in Canada. But no, so like I guess in that sense, I'm so yeah, it was probably one of those things where he ate raw meat and was like, oh yeah, I could do this, and just like made the change in an instant.
Or part of me, I just like to imagine this man for like a week, like trying to force himself to eat it and like hating it.
Well, he said that he read up on it on like some kind of like diet website that or it was some kind of university or some kind of like science research based thing that was like
indigenous like
weird
diets.
Yeah. So I'm sure it was one of those kind of things where he was like, yeah, I'll try this. Just like most people try diets, like the keto diet and stuff like that. They read about it and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna see if this works for me. Because it's one of those things where like I'm gonna use myself as an example. I'm gluten intolerant and I'm dairy intolerant, and I get a lot of allergies that I have from my mother's side of the family. Like I can't go out and eat because I'm allergic to most of the cooking oils that restaurants use. So I'm like for me personally, I have to go on a specialized diet just because of my allergies. And like I had to try a bunch of different things until I was kind of happy with the ultimatum that I had to reach. So like with pasta, I hate gluten-free pasta because it just tastes like rice to me. And rice plus tomato sauce doesn't work with my taste buds for whatever reason. But I can do vegetable-based pastas.
See, I like both veggie pastas and then like the quote unquote. What is gluten free pasta?
It's made with rice.
Okay. I like some gluten free pasta.
Actually, I don't know if it's made with rice. All I know is if I eat it, it just tastes like white steamed rice.
Huh. There's this pasta dish my girlfriend makes because she's also gluten intolerant. Where it's like. It's not necessarily like tomato sauce, but it's like diced tomatoes and then like cheese and whatnot baked into these gluten-free noodles. And I really like the like taste and texture of those noodles in that dish. But
yeah, no, there's several different kinds of
but those are like
vegetable-based noodles that I like. It's always those name brand gluten-free things.
That's what those are though.
Well, yeah, they're name brand, but they're not specifically like.
Oh god.
They're not the typical gluten free.
Yeah.
Like they're made from something else, and that's.
I'm so sorry.
And that's what the label has. Yeah. Like chickpeas and zucchini are a very big, like alternative pasta.
Yeah.
And lentils are a very big alternative pasta. But like it's one of those things where like if it's a big brand that says gluten free, it's usually like rice based.
What's your favorite nut?
Cashews. I'm a big cashews and then pecans and then normal peanuts.
Okay.
That's my top 3. Like I find because that's my main snack.
I
eat those like little Mr. Planters, those little tins. I'll pick out this is gonna tell my accent. The pecans, peanuts, and cashews.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that like I'm always digging out first, and then the almonds are like 4th.
See, I like my top 3 like yours would be pistachios, peanuts, and probably cashews like you.
I would say pistachios for me are like 4th or 5th.
See, I love pistachios.
I don't like them in my nut mixes, but I like them standalone.
I love pistachios. I just hate the work that goes into trying to break open the shell.
Well, that was
I know you can get pre-shot for the people out there.
What's the fun in that? No, as a kid, my family literally used to go to the grocery store and buy those bags of
pistachios.
Salted peanuts that actually came in the shell. Like they were circus peanuts, basically.
Yeah.
And they would just buy that, and that would be my snack. Like I would come home. It was either a bag of those or it was just chips and salsa. Those are the 2 things when I came home from school.
Those are pretty healthy snacks, honestly.
Sort of, kind of. The salt levels in both of those are probably
the
completely killing my system.
Better than I had. I would kill one of those giant family-sized sour cream and onion Lay's
Oh.
chips in like
See,
2 or 3 days.
Okay, I say salsa and chips. It was basically chips and dip. Like there would be some times where it was the sour cream and onion dip with like Ruffles.
I
and, like,
love French onion dip. French onion dip's probably one of my favorite dips.
We'll talk about this later, but all I'm gonna say is barbecue idea,
Okay.
and that should link together. Guys, you don't need to know about this. It's
I
all right.
understand. I get it.
He understands it completely. God, now we get on a whole food craze.
I know.
I'm all
I
for it.
mean, we're done talking about raw meat, and I'm really glad about
I like
that.
how we were. I think that's just a testament to the raw meat diet, because we were able to go from raw meat to distinguishing it as a food group, and then instantly going into foods we like in like 5 minutes.
I agree.
So I
think the thing is, dude, as gross as it sounds, the first time you watch it,
we kind of do it in moderation already, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
He just took it to the extreme.
Exactly. And I mean, there are definitely like risks to that. Like there's definitely a big risks of like getting bacteria in your system.
But we also don't know. Like he said that eating raw meat's like 90% of his diet. So it's like maybe there's another 10% that's saving him.
That's true. Like the vegetables,
Yeah.
and maybe like he might be taking some vitamins.
Yeah, in his intestine smoothies. Maybe he had some blueberries and peanut butter to help the consistency. Oh god.
Intestine smoothies.
No, I think that's that. Ever since I found that video, that's what's been stuck in my mind.
Intestine
intestine smoothies. Because it's like, well, I mean, especially in the, I don't remember if this is a Scottish or Irish dish. Haggis. Is it Scottish?
I haven't heard of haggis before.
Okay, so it's like lamb intestines stuffed with lamb.
I have heard of
organs. Or
I have heard of that, but I don't know if it is.
But it's fully cooked type deal.
Okay.
So it's an intestine. Chitlins. I'm pretty sure that's pig anus.
No, it's
or pig intestines.
Is it pig or is it chicken?
I'm pretty sure it's pig because chicken's like a no-go when it comes to the raw stuff.
Okay.
Well, except for this guy.
Well, chitlins aren't like raw, are they?
Well, chitlins are pickled.
Are they?
I think they're boiled and then pickled.
Okay.
So they're not raw. Like they are cooked in some... Bro, they're cooked in
I burped into the mic. I should have
Yeah, I know.
away.
I watched you look into the mic and fucking send the gas gods into our listeners' ears. But
oh man,
yeah, no. Chitlins are, I'm pretty sure, pig anus or intestines that are boiled and then or poached and pickled.
Okay.
God, man, now that I'm thinking about pickles.
See, I've never liked pickles, but
Hey, maybe in the next 5 years your taste buds will change and you'll...
see, this is where I was going.
My uncle's
part of me feels like if I tried pickles recently, I might like them.
Well, for me, like my uncle's a big pickle nut.
Really?
Like Lily, for Christmas, we've thought about buying him those giant novelty-sized pickle jars that you see in supermarkets, like the giant ranch bottles and the giant ketchup and mayonnaise. They do pickles as well, and we've literally thought about picking up one of those pickle jars and just giving it to him for Christmas because he eats that many pickles. Like he's that addicted to pickles. But
did you have those friends, or did you see those people in like middle school / high school that were like quote unquote addicted to pickle juice?
I did not have that. I did have a friend that went to the doctor that told him to take less sodium, so he would steal the salt packets and then chug them at lunch.
This was okay.
Sorry to throw your whole example into a tangent, but
I'm so sorry to say this, but I'm about to pee my pants.
Whoa, okay, that's fine. We'll
look.
This is
look,
the perfect
watch
time.
this. Look,
Okay,
watch,
if we had a sponsor or anything like this would be the perfect time for ad read. But instead, it's gonna be an awkward cut, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about our next topic.
Watch this though. It's gonna be magic. Watch 1, 2, 3.
Okay, Fisher, I have a very serious question I have to ask you.
Bro, I haven't had time to piss.
Okay. So hear me out, all right?
Yeah, what's up?
This is a personal inquiry that one of my friends brought up to me.
Yeah.
So they're house sitting, all right?
Yeah.
And they're single, but they're in that like weird stage where they're like late night hookups type deal. Like,
Yeah.
You know that little that phase you get into like in between relationships where it's like, you know what, screw it, I don't want a relationship anymore. I'm just gonna like, not even friends with benefits. I'm just gonna hook up constantly. All right. So my friend is house sitting, has been talking to this person
Yeah.
for like 2 weeks or so. So they're getting to know each other, yada yada yada. They live like 2 towns over, and she brought up the fact that she was house sitting in this town, and he was like, or the friend, it's a he, brought up the idea of like, ooh, let's use that house to our advantage. If you
Yeah.
catch my drift. Okay, so if you were house sitting, and you were single, and this person or this female asked you, you want to use this house to our advantage, would you do it?
See, I don't. Well, even in the situation, like, say, like me and my girlfriend, and I was house sitting, and my girlfriend was like, "Let's use this house to our advantage."
Advantage, air quotes. I don't know why we're saying advantage. We've been saying fuck
Yeah,
this
yeah,
entire podcast.
Yeah. Well, why don't we use this time? Why don't we use this house to fuck in? I don't know, cause it's a really weird thing. Cause like, is it house sitting like you're staying the night? Cause like if you stay in the night and not just like
I
going
would
there to
assume
like,
so, because that's a lot of the times what you do when you're house sitting or
Okay.
dog sitting or anything like that. Especially
Okay.
when they're gone for like a weekend or something like that. Typically, you're staying the night there to like make sure the house is okay, and you're there for like a day or maybe 2 days.
then maybe. I mean, like, I guess as long as you
You clean up after yourself.
clean up after, maybe go in the shower or put down a towel, maybe. You know,
A towel? What?
Put down a towel on the bed so you know nothing gets anywhere.
Okay, whatever. I understand.
So like, you know, if you're gonna use someone else's bed to,
I mean, you're going to a completely different extreme than I was thinking.
what were you thinking?
I wasn't thinking about using the homeowner's bed.
Okay, what were you thinking? The
Okay.
couch? The like?
I feel like throwing a towel over the couch or like whatever is
Well-
more acceptable than like, yeah,
Well,
I'm
that's
gonna
fair.
screw in this
That's
homeowner's
fair.
bed.
That's well, is it though? Because I feel like there's more time where like the entire family,
You
not
know
just
how
the
disgusting a family's couch is?
not just the fucking parents, but the kids. The entire family's gonna be on that couch.
And you know how long it's
and
been
you
since
already know the parents are
And-
fucking on that bed.
and you know how long it's been since that couch has been steam cleaned?
Exactly. So
It's
why
already-
add to it?
it's already
Why
disgusting
add
as
to it?
fuck.
Yeah, but I'm the children, Chayton. The children.
Okay, what if they don't have children? Would you
Okay.
be okay with it then?
Yes. Yes, completely. No towel even needed then.
No, okay, so this is why I told this person. I was like, you know what? That's kind of like fetishy fantasy type stuff.
Is it though?
Well, no, okay. So it's always one of those like forbidden acts. Like sex is already considered a forbidden act
Fair.
in a sense. So it's one of those things where like you, especially like in a young relationship or in a hookup, is like you want to have that experience, and doing it in a place that you shouldn't do or a place that you shouldn't be able to do it in is exhilarating. It's an adrenaline rush. It's one of those things that's like it's that roller coaster ride that you want type deal. So like the way I told her, I was like, look, okay, if you're in your parents' house and you were with someone and you're like, yeah, let's do it, but you had been doing it in your parents' house in your bedroom for weeks, months maybe, like, would you want to do it anywhere else in that household? And they were like, yeah, probably. I was like, okay, now pump that up to a 10 and think if you're doing it in just some random ass home.
So gorilla fighting. Let's talk about gorilla fighting.
Yeah, let's talk about gorilla fighting, because I feel like sex and gorilla fighting kind of correlate because they're both very animalistic.
Yeah, exactly. Gorilla fighting. I think
I feel like we should have led
listen,
the podcast with gorilla fighting and then gone to Rob.
but gorilla fighting. I've been looking at a lot of like animal videos.
If you've
lately.
ever watched wrestling or boxing, you know what gorilla fighting looks like.
Bro, you don't though, cause it's like at like a fucking lightning speed. These fucking gorillas will pummel you in like 2 seconds.
You're not expecting it. It's just
It's
like
just
they're
like,
sitting there
boom,
normal.
boom, 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 boom.
You don't gotta yell like that, but
I'm sorry, it peaked probably.
it's okay. But anyway, what I'm saying is like with gorilla fighting, like they could be sitting there in the zoo just minding their own business. And then like you turn your head or you glance away to read the nice little fun facts they have written on the gorilla side.
And they'll slam on the glass like they're
and
all
then
trying to fucking
and then
kill
you.
you.
Look back and they're ripping their hair out and they're like snarling their teeth and they're punching each other in the genitals.
Listen though,
They're nasty. They're dirty fighters.
Listen, I've been watching videos for probably about the past 3 or 4 weeks of just like different like animal videos of like bears, mountain lions.
I do that. From time to time, I'll get into that rabbit hole where I click like my pet toucan, and then like 5 hours later, I'm like watching a documentary about sea lions that have been trained to live with cheetahs. That's
Like
not a
this-
real thing, but I just feel like that combination is just like bizarre enough to work.
But like there are people that like people get attacked by all these different animals, or like you see all these different ferocious animals fighting, but I think gorillas are the most terrifying of them all.
This kind of reminds me of that viral like meme-ish video of that bear attacking the kayak canoe, and there's that woman that's like yelling at him at the top. It's like, "Get away from my kayak! I'll pepper spray you!" And she's like crying in the midst of talking. If you've never seen it,
No, I've never seen that video.
It's a great animalistic video. But that was just a side change because it was on my mind. But back to gorillas being the most terrifying animal in a zoo. No, I completely agree. And like when you brought this topic up to me to talk about, like instantly in the back of my mind, I was thinking about how every time I've ever been to a zoo and we've gone past an orangutan or gorilla enclosure or anything like that, I've always been kind of unnerved and uneasy standing there watching them.
It's crazy because it's even like I agree with that even more so than
Like this was before
even,
the whole Harambe incident. This was like when I was 4 or 5 going to the zoo watching them either from the glass or like when they had those enclosures that were like the cement that just dropped straight down into like a little island thing that they had going on.
I know, because like even more so than like lions or tigers or any like big cat.
They're so
terrifying.
humanistic. It's like this is literally a evolutionary speaking. This is a deformed human that has such animalistic tendencies that they're smart enough where they know how to unlock locks and could still kill me because they want to.
Like they're just enough human to figure out like they're just enough human to like figure out like how we kind of run shit in a way.
Yeah, no.
But they're still
how
wild fucking animals that will tear your head off.
Just like rats in labs, like they teach rats to press the correct button to get treats and food. It's the same way with chimpanzees, the same way with the gorillas. Like, but with rats, it's like, what are they gonna do? Bite me and give me rabies? We have shots for that. With chimpanzees and gorillas, it's like, yeah, I just trained this thing to use a keypad to open a door so it can rip my face off if it decides it's in a bad mood.
Shit's fucking... They're terrifying. Bottom line, they're terrifying.
Like, yeah, they're animals. The whole Harambe situation was dumb. Not to bring up Harambe or whatever. It's like, I love all animals and stuff like that. But, like, because of the stigma and stuff that gets brought up about animals, there are certain animals that you're uneasy with. Such as lions and tigers and so on. Like, you're taught from such a young, like, animalistic stage in your life that certain animals are just inherently bad and you need to stay away from them. And you learn about those predatory animals. But then you also learn about animals that shouldn't be predatory that are predatory.
Oh my god, we were talking about this a few days ago, but that movie Roar.
Oh yeah,
fucking dude.
Yeah, no.
If you guys haven't heard of this, there's a film called Roar, and the director, who was also the star of the film,
he was a madman.
He was a madman. He owned a hand. I can't remember the amount of lions.
It was like a lion
owned.
sanctuary.
Well, yeah, he owned a lion sanctuary, and then on set they had 100 untrained tigers. I don't know, not tigers, lions, and I don't know if that was from his sanctuary or if
I'm pretty sure he owned them all.
Okay, And then he brought in like tigers and panthers and like mountain lions and
then
all this shit.
Yeah, they filmed the whole movie with untrained lions just like living with them Steve Irwin style, except not smart.
Not even. Okay, the dude that shot the film, the cinematographer, got scalped by a lion. Like the director said he had to put the top of his head fell off, and he had to take it and put it back on and wrap a bandage around it. He came back, and I don't
finished the film.
Yeah, I don't like 2 weeks later, got stitches and everything, then came back. I don't know how you could do that. Like, it's already a dumb idea that you're making a film with all these untrained animals,
like wild animals. No, this kind of reminds me of it was before. I don't remember how many years ago it was, but it was that pet chimpanzee that like turned against its owner and like ripped her face off and then went on like a spree in their like small town that they lived in.
I have not heard about.
You've never heard of that?
That is crazy.
Yeah,
but
no,
that doesn't surprise me.
I don't remember if it was a pet chimpanzee or like a sanctuary type chimpanzee or whatever.
Mhm.
But it went on like an absolute spree and like ripped its owner's face off, escaped, and like was doing all like I don't know if this is just my mind making stuff up, but I feel like I've read like news reports of escaped chimpanzees like actually turning on cars and like golf carts and stuff like that and actually driving them. But maybe that's just the movies talking to me that I've seen.
Look, I don't know how true this is. It's been a while ago, and
Well, yeah, you always read those like crazy news stories, and then you never really put more research into it to figure out if they're real or not. And
Yeah,
then
this
your
is what
brain just accepts them as almost factual, but almost not.
Yeah,
And it's like the fairy tales you tell to your children. It's like when I was growing up, there was a gorilla that went on a rampage through a town because it climbed out of its enclosure.
no, I was gonna tell you something sort of similar.
Yeah,
I had heard this on, of course, the Joe Rogan podcast. And,
bro, don't advertise other podcasts on our podcast.
I'm sure people already know the Joe Rogan podcast. if
Dude,
they
don't say it
listen to
again.
this. Either way, I heard this on there that and I don't know how true this is, and I might be miswording it. Either way, I heard something to the like, I don't know how to word it. Either way, I heard
something to the effect.
Yeah, something to the effect of that there are more domesticated tigers in Texas. In the state of Texas,
Then they're on like the world because
And
they're
the-
on
the-
the verge of extinction.
than there are in the wild.
Yeah.
More fucking rich white people in Texas have fucking pet tigers than there are wild tigers.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing like Saudi Arabia where they do like own lions and tigers as like pets and stuff like that.
That shit is crazy.
Like just like I don't know. When I was growing up, I always like had a dream of owning like a monkey.
Yeah, no.
Like I feel like that's semi-normal.
I had an uncle that actually owned a monkey. Had a pet
See,
monkey.
my grandpa owned like an emu that he just like randomly showed up on his property one day, and he had a fence, and he like corralled it in. He just decided, yep, this is my pet emu now.
I can't remember how my uncle got. Well, it's not my uncle, my great uncle. He had this pet monkey, and
The ones that are typically the most legal to own are capuchin monkeys.
they're like,
and
the
that's
little-
because,
it's what
you know,
like
I
see
wanted-
in, like Pirates of the Caribbean. The little shoulder
yeah,
monkeys.
capuchin monkey. That's literally.
That's what
I
he
know
had.
this because I wanted to have a monkey for so many years.
I think that's what he had, and I think what happened to it. I think a dog ended up like snapping its neck, like.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
I
I
thought
know.
this was gonna be a happy story, but
No,
all of a
no
sudden it
happy
turns
stories
morbid.
here. Yeah.
So did he give it to the guy that only eats raw meat, or?
Well, I don't know this. My grandpa told me this.
I don't
This was
know.
an old story.
I don't know the entire depth of this story, but you know, in a perfect world, yes, he gave him to the raw meat man.
Yes, and then the raw meat man ate the monkey.
Oh God, he's been waiting for that exotic meat for a while. He's been living off sheep for so many years.
Oh, what was I gonna say? There was
What were
something
you
I was
gonna
gonna
say?
transition to another topic to transition to.
Oh God, you're gonna have another topic? Do you have
Oh.
another?
I don't have a little segue for us to hop on and get over to it.
Yeah, we
so-
can't go from raw meat to live animals. So what's the segue
What-
here?
what was the
Live
seg-
animals to what?
What was it? What was it?
I don't know. You keep talking like you know it.
I can't remember, so let's keep talking about live animals.
So okay, on the topic of live animals,
what would you want as a pet that's not typically a domesticated animal? I guess I know you're literally just talking about monkeys, but
okay, so it's been pretty domesticated, but I've always wanted to own a gecko, and
gecko?
a specific kind of gecko. It's a crested gecko. They have like the reason they're called like crested geckos is because they have like a moon crest like typically on their
I think I know what you're talking about. They
yeah,
have
like it has a distinct marking on their forehead type deal, and they
Mhm.
also have like eyelashes and stuff like that. But I've always wanted a crested gecko, but those have been so domesticated now that you can like literally order one online to be shipped to you.
That's
Like it's a
crazy.
little inhumane, but it's like there's some, well, through reputable ones, they like ship them like in a specific way, and only during specific times of the year where like the temperature that's inside the mail truck it should be the temperature that they live at type deal. But it's like we domesticated those for so many years, and like there's so many like different breeds and different colorations that you can buy them with. Where I wouldn't distinctly call them like a weird animal that you would have wanted to own. I mean, back in like elementary school, before I wanted a
Maybe.
monkey, I wanted a penguin.
Yeah.
Because I had
Okay.
this weird stigma in my mind that I could just empty out our freezer.
And put the penguin in
Yeah,
there.
I put
and
the
he-
penguin in there and it would have been fine. I don't
Um,
know why, but I something in my mind decided, yeah, that's acceptable.
I think the two animals that I would want, and one's kind of similar to yours. One would be like a Savannah cat, which is
Oh yeah,
it's like a mix between a house cat and like
Mhm.
some African wild cat.
we are in my hometown. There's actually someone that owns a bobcat on our like town square.
Really?
Like you can go there and they have like apartments on like the second floors of like some of the stores, and like if you walk past, sometimes you'll just see a bobcat like chilling on the window staring at people.
That's crazy. Um,
But no, I know what kind of cat you're talking about because I have known people in the past that have owned those kinds of cats.
yeah, cause like they act like dogs,
Yeah.
but they're cats, and that's all I want. I want just a cat that acts like a dog.
My sister has a cat that acts like a dog and a dog that acts like a cat. So sometimes you can just pick up a random cat and it'll have the instincts of a dog. It plays fetch. It does. Like especially with like small like hair ties. If you like pull them back like a slingshot and just flick them down the hallway, literally the cat will just chase them like no tomorrow and
And
play
then
fetch
bring it
with you.
back.
hmm
That's crazy. And then that or like a domesticated fox.
Okay, I take that back. When I was wanting a monkey, I was like, if I can't have a monkey, I want a fox.
Domesticated fox. Well,
There's-
foxes are just beautiful.
Yeah,
And
foxes
then-
are such elegant fucking creatures, and then they have the vocal cords of a dolphin, basically. Like they can make so many noises and communicate in so many ways. It's like what the fox say. Let's bring back that like 2012 meme. What's that?
I forgot about that until you brought that up.
Well, it's just like it's one of those things that's like when I wanted a monkey and when I wanted a fox were like at the same time because I at the time I thought they were both such clever, smart animals that could be taught.
Yeah.
Fox is a little less than monkey, but like still they were both super clever animals. The thing about foxes in general is that they're super destructive.
They're destructive and just they're
So
like even if you have like domesticated ones, they still have those instincts.
oh yeah, no, they will
Because,
bury
like-
them. They will rip holes in your couch and make a burrow in them in an instant.
Oh yeah. That's what I've heard about them. But those would be like the pets I'd want to have. I think that was what I was gonna ask you actually.
Oh, it was
Would be,
about
like-
foxes.
Well, domesticated animal or like
Oh.
what like pets you'd want to have.
It's so weird nowadays because like they're animals, especially in a inhumane sense, with like circuses and sometimes zoos, and I won't say the name, but like aquarium show esque zoos. I don't know how to describe it really. Where like we've taken these wild animals and we've domesticated them in such a sense that they know tricks.
Yeah.
And like it's kind of weird because like they're not at that point of evolution where they should be domesticated like that, but we've kind of forced their brains into it.
Well, that's the problem. Like you try and like that's why there's a dumb idea. Oh, I actually remember what I was going to talk about. But I'll say
Dumb
that.
ideas?
No.
You might as well get into it because you're going to forget it if you finish your statement.
I was going to talk about the documentary Grizzly Man.
Oh, is that the one that, like, the man that lived with the bears?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's a completely dumb idea, and I don't know why anyone would ever
Well,
think
so is
to
a man
do
that eats raw meat, but look at where we are now.
Well, that's not as dangerous as living with a family of bears. This man lived with
well,
a
there
family
was also,
of
like,
bears for,
documentaries about...
3 years, and then guess what happened to him? What happened to him, Chayton? What happened to the man that lived with bears?
He died.
Yeah, he died. How'd he die?
From the bears.
Yeah, he got ate by bears. There's no other way that that could happen.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, like, there's also documentaries of, like, the guy that lived with wolves and stuff like that. So, I mean, that stuff happens.
Wolves, I feel like you can have a little bit of a chance to fight off if they were attacked. Well, maybe
the
not
thing
a
is,
pack.
a pack. No, this man lived with a pack of wolves. The thing is that, like, bears live in, like, groups of, like, 3 or 4. Wolves live in a pack of 6 to 10.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like, you might say, yeah, I can go toe to toe with a single wolf, but this man was living with a pack.
Yeah,
He had to keep.
Yeah, but like, I
the
don't
thing
know.
is that he had to fight wolves to show that he was the alpha male. That's the crazy part. Is that we're talking about
I
fighting
want to
wolves.
see a man
he did
box. I
Oh.
want to see a man box some wolves.
Dude, let's not talk about
No.
Kangaroo Jack.
No, that's animal abuse. I shouldn't say that. I don't want to see anyone box wolves. I'm sorry for saying that.
Dude, that literally just reminded me of Kangaroo Jack. That's all that I didn't even. My brain never went to a man boxing a wolf. My brain instantly went to a man boxing a kangaroo.
I never saw Kangaroo Jack. I always saw the trailers, but I never saw the film.
Dude, I watched that movie as a kid almost as much as I watched the Crocodile Hunter movie, which is a sad thing to say. And then they came with the sequel to Kangaroo Jack that was like mainly cartoon. Actually, I think it was all cartoon. I never watched it, so I don't actually know. But like, no, I can't. I don't know. I'm at wit's end when it comes to talking about wild domesticated animals and raw meat eaters.
I understand that.
So I guess since we're at wit's end, that's a pretty good place.
At wit's end, and
At wit's
also
end.
the end of the podcast.
Yeah, our minds have gotten out everything that they needed to. Our ideas have hit and they've meshed together. We are completely spent. Every idea that we've ever had is completely out in the air now until we recharge to come back next week to tell you something else weird we found.
I hope. I really hope.
Well, I'm Chayton.
And I'm Fish, and this has been MindMesh.
No, we won't do shameless plugs. We'll wait.
No shameless
until we
plugs.
figure out what we're doing. No
Exactly.
shameless plugs. Join us
Exactly.
back next week for some more MindMesh.
Like, comment, subscribe, do all that fancy shit.
That's not on all platforms though.
Yeah, but oh shit, you're right.
All right, we're out of here. We're donezo.
See you, boys.